Actress Marlene Dietrich kisses a soldier returning home aboard the USS Monticello, 1945. She was German and she helped fighting the Nazis. A good German, you would think. Apollo 11, on July 16, 1969, racing towards the moon carrying astronauts Neil F. Armstrong, Michael Collins and Edwin E. Aldrin. To think that this rocket is around 360 feet tall, that is a massive blast. NASA scientists with their board of calculations. 1960s. Audrey Hepburn shopping with her pet deer IP in Beverly Hills, California. 1958. Now, I'm as fond of Audrey Hepburn as anyone, but never make a deer into a pet. A Bosnian girl, holding an AK-47 rifle, smokes a cigarette as she waits for a funeral service at Sarajevo's Lions Cemetery on Monday, September 14, 1992. Japanese-American internees returning from a relocation camp walk past combat veterans in Los Angeles, California, August 22, 1945. Imagine being sent to prison because your country didn't trust you and coming back to your village to find you're completely being ransacked. The first photograph of Machu Picchu by discoverer Hiram Bingham in 1912. Store owners in Koreatown, Los Angeles take defensive positions against rioters during the Rodney King riots of 1992. A German dispatch dog carries messages to the front line during a German offensive in January 1918. Given how these dogs were sometimes trained to scale 6-foot walls, trenches, it is not a surprise by how far they could jump. Johnny Cash performing for prisoners at Folsom Prison on January 13, 1968. Where Marines go, their pin-ups go, Tarawa, 1943. It appears these guys were fairly up-to-date with an August 1943 Esquire magazine gatefold. Battle of Tarawa took place in late November 1943. A dog being posed by a German soldier, 1940. Rescued after 5 days trapped underground, a survivor of the Spring Hill mining disaster is reunited with his family. Nova Scotia, Canada. October 1958. Adolf Hitler informs Czech President Emil Hácha of the imminent German invasion of Czechoslovakia on March 15, 1939, in Berlin. British sailor removing the leg irons off a slave. Late 1800s, early 1900s. Based on the date, I would guess the photograph was taken after an action by the Royal Navy against a force that had not abolished slavery. Men in a tattoo parlor. 1940s or 50s. Al Capone in a bathing suit at his Palm Island mansion, 1929. Steel worker Carl Russell sits at 1,222 feet, 400 meters, on top of a steel beam casually waving to the cameraman, who had climbed into a crane to be able to take this photo. Empire State Building, September 18, 1930. A little girl holds a penguin's flipper as they walk together around the London Zoo in 1937. An Italian food stand in Harlem, New York, in 1955. More than 500,000 people pack Moscow's Manez Square to demand the resignation of Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev and his fellow communists spring 1991. Carl Akeley poses with the leopard he killed with his bare hands after it attacked him. 1896. Soldiers wearing gas masks while peeling onions at Tobruk, October 15, 1941. Country store on dirt road. Sunday afternoon. July 1939. Gordonton, North Carolina. Kerosene pump on the right and gasoline pump on the left. Rough, unfinished timber posts have been used as supports for porch roof. Brother of store owner stands in doorway. Photo by Dorothea Lang. Lyndon B. Johnson yelling at the pilots of a nearby plane to cut their engines so that John F. Kennedy could speak. Kennedy is seen trying to calm him down. This was taken during the 1960 presidential campaign in Amarillo, Texas.